has been made clear to me that Mr. Barrett probably has kids to pick up, that's why I'm... Would you let Mr. Barrett go for it? Okay, David, come on. Are you sure?
I'm okay.
You're good now? Okay, Hazen, come on up.
Hey y'all. My name is Hazen Elwood, but my friends call me Biz. Councilors who vote yes get automatic admittance to the list. Everybody's talking about their profound and illustrious backgrounds, but I'm 20 years old, so I'll spare the deception. But I did volunteer on Mayor Gondek's campaign, and I got really, really good grades in high school. Those grades became a career in construction as I couldn't justify university during the uncertainty of COVID. But I have a counselor's appointment at 4. This is City Council, so I'll leave the details for another time. Here's a broad stroke. Unsurprisingly, my job does not pay me enough to decide whether or not I like living with my parents. Even less once you factor in the master's degree that I have to expedite so that I don't get priced out of this city. This economy forces me to live with my parents where I likely could remain until I'm 30. Now, I'm lucky that my parents actually like me, and I'm not here saying that I'm forced to leave, like my beautiful trans and queer friends who otherwise keep in the closet because homelessness is a fear greater than a crushed soul. A secondary function of this year's Pride Festival was networking. Networking between queer folks who hope to have a bed and a roof for the next 30 days. Economic policy and social policy are one and the same. These are not disconnected or zero-sum silos. These are complex problems that we all stand to gain some equity from. That's why I urge the committee to support the housing strategy, including all 33 actions previously outlined by the task force. These actions are a holistic profile that were necessary long ago. We cannot afford to pick and choose. I've lived in Mayland Heights my entire life, a neighborhood within Councillor Chabot's ward. If his vision for Calgary's inner city as a haven for detached residential development were true, our local economy would be despotic. The grocery store I walk to, the pharmacy, the pub, etc., these businesses owned and frequented by neighbors would no longer exist if my neighborhood was built without the land-efficient patronage of multiplexes and condos. To insist that opposition to the housing strategy is somehow conservative or responsible is laughable. Land use regulatory abuse has now squeezed economic opportunity and stability from the entire middle class. It's beyond time for the city to give it back. Some of y'all think blanket RCG is radical for the same reason that my blue-collar coworkers think I'm radical, although they've called me worse. It empowers diversity and it represents a challenge to prescribe power structures. But what RCG allows is what already exists in our most financially resilient communities. Blanket RCG is just legalization of what every civilization before the North American car-dependent development experiment would deem the floor of healthy urban development, not a controversy amidst a housing calamity. As Councillor Sharp graciously identified, 95% of RCG developments are already approved by Council, which clearly argues that these deliberations are vastly distractions for more important issues. The fact that 7 councillors supported the status quo, dragging out the regulatory status to hyper-focus on placating the remaining 5 is confounding. I'd love to hear testimonials from the Moderate Council College of Perfection, but where I come from, 95 is at least an A and represents a passing grade. What's a failure, however, is the idea that a half-baked attempt at not resolving, but just expediting only one of 33 problems outlined by the strategy will do anything. It's not enough to tiptoe around our most entitled constituents. It's not enough to pursue edge development where our most economically disenfranchised are forced to purchase and maintain a car, where the city is forced to spend billions servicing and maintaining new transit, new roads, new sidewalks, new waste management, new schools, libraries, and you guys know better than I do. What's scarier to the skeptical property owners out there? A modest townhome facing a street 3 blocks away, comfortably integrating up to 10 new faces into your local economy, or the ever-increasing property tax that you'll have to pay every year for the luxury of trucking those same 10 people back into the boonies, because Calgary is their home and they're not going anywhere else just because you've forgotten about them. We need to grow our economy without growing our liabilities, and as my friends, housing advocates, a coalition across the political spectrum understand, this means doing what's best for our people too. A woman sitting next to me asked to highlight the potency of retrofitting in this aspect, something that vastly benefits from cutting red tape and is even faster and less controversial. Calgary has exploded recently. We've seen 60 to 70% increases on average rental prices since this council was elected. It's really clear what's happening here. Toronto and Vancouver failed to take swift housing action, and our city is the next destination. Calgary is supposed to be the place where stuff is cheap and life is great. To keep that dream from dissolving, we need bold action, and we need it yesterday. The housing strategy is not perfect. It's just one step, but it's the first step to ensuring we do not repeat the mistakes of our contemporaries and lose our opportunity to become the truly vibrant, welcoming, and resilient destination in Canada that our city deserves to be. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Hazen. Anita. have a question for all of you. So you can each come up one at a time. There's no other questions in the queue, and then we'll see. You all come from very different neighborhoods, and I think that's really great. It's a great mixed panel, and so maybe you could all answer for me what a defining feature or what a defining character of your neighborhood is in a quick sentence. And take it whatever order you want.
I already kind of talked about the character of Bayland Heights. We kind of have a shopping center at like right in the middle of the neighborhood, which is really awesome. And of course, I argued that that could only really exist in a situation where you have the critical mass of patronage around. I think it's really, we have a huge parking lot, but I think it's fantastic that almost like 75% of it, if I had to guess, I haven't done the data, goes completely unused because so many people live within walking distance of this place that, the pedestrian traffic around that shopping center is almost kind of what you'd expect in a really, really vibrant main street. And I want people to know that, I think it was Nathan said that, our nodes and corridors account for only 13% of land. This is not something that we need to kind of throw up our hands and give up. Like, vibrance is something that can exist in every single community if we allow it to.